this process will come to an end and that they will not allow any more persons to be vetted. And there's a lot of confrontation. The majority leader now, as you can see him in the middle of this situation, trying to very much get things under control, speaking to NPP MPs to try and calm down. But Mama Ida says he wants things to happen. You can hear Frank Another Bread, the minority chief, word.
It's not going to happen.
Not happen.
We have done it. Kofi Adams was not part of the arrangement. We compromised and did it.
Okay.
We agreed before. We have done 5. They should understand. What is this? Right. Look, some of them we spend less than 50 minutes on them. We can do proper vetting with this time.
Thank you very much. I believe the witnesses were here. And I will call them one after the other to take their oath. And then the second batch of people, witnesses who are not here, will show the same video to them. And then we'll go through the same process with them. And so I will want to plead with our minister, since the leader of the house is here, if they can permit the leader of the house, will allow the leader of the house, Honorable Mahama Ayariga, to take the oath, and then he will tell us what exactly he will.
So help me Allah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mahama Ayariga, leader of the House. Please, can you tell this committee what you witnessed on the 30th of January 2025 and what you know about the incident that has happened on?
And there was a decision by the chairman to invite the vetted. That was when I noticed that there was the minority side of the committee. But I remained seated for a while and I was observing who was going to manage the situation. So I was seated there for a long time. I never got up, I never uttered a word. I just sat there and I was watching. And the minority members rose up and will not sit, will not leave the room, and publicly were expressing their disagreement with the chairman to continue with the vetting act. It had a fit nominee, and that was the nominee for the Ministry of Transport. And then there was resistance that, according to them, Honorable need to try to convince the side to accede to the plea by the majority side to add the nominee for the Ministry of Transport. Went to the minority side and tried to plead with them. is it okay for you to vet Akando since he's already seated, and then we can defer Ablakwa with me so that we can talk. So with me so that we can talk. So outside he gave a very strong objection and said his side would not agree, and that they were tired and they agreed on 3, and they had been generous enough to do 5, and we want to push them to do 7. It was too much, and it was already late. It was about 8 p.m. and they were tired. They would not. It was already late. It was about 8 p.m. and they were tired. They would not continue the work. So when I noticed that nobody could hear the other, so the only way I could get to talk to people was to pull them outside the meeting room and then try to talk to them and come back into the meeting room, and it would be better to end the proceedings, by which time they had broken one table, they had pulled out the blocks of the microphones, and in 1 or 2 instances they had actually smashed the microphones and so I thought the best thing to do was to bring proceedings to an end. And
you were there on that day, and so thank you so much.
I was there.
Okay. Any more so that we can dispatch and take other witnesses?
Majority Leader, may I find out from you the chaos that you've just described? GHOne and sat for some time and sat through the Minister of Transport vetting, but when the misunderstanding occurred, at what time was it?
I believe that was between 7 and 8
p.m.
Between 7 and 8 p.m. Yeah, I think that's when the confusion started and dragged on for a while.
Whether leadership of the committee actually had that agreement. Thank you.
The original schedule actually provided for Ablakwa to be vetted on Thursday. Indeed, he had approached me personally to see if it could be vetted earlier, because the president had started traveling, and I think was even traveling to one of the Eastern or Southern African countries. And the suggestion was that the president was traveling and he didn't have the support of his Minister for Foreign Affairs. So it was important to see if we could have Ablakwa taken so that he could be sworn in and he could start working around the president's travels. So he approached me to see if he could be shifted to Wednesday or even Tuesday, and it was difficult because others had been scheduled earlier, so to shift him you needed to move somebody out. I, on a number of occasions, tried to get the chairman to shift him forward. It didn't happen, so I negotiated that they should vet him on Wednesday. And it turned out that on Wednesday there was a decision to invite Vulnerable and not to vet any. Thursday that he was scheduled was the day that he would be vetted. So the week before he had already been scheduled to be vetted on Thursday. So Thursday was his appropriate vetting day.
I want to find out if I heard you right. You said originally they had agreed on vetting 3. But by the intervention of Honorable Nito, the Minister for Transport, the nominee for Transport, they agreed to vet that minister on that Thursday. I don't know whether I heard you right.
I said I spoke to both sides, and each side had a different account. The minority side said that their understanding was that they were to vet 3 nominees. But then when they came after the 3 nominees, their colleagues convinced them and they his side was adamant, insisted that somebody like Ablakwa had been slated to be vetted that date. He had come with his family and his chiefs. I think the pressure was coming from the fact that the nominees on the record were slated for that day, and the nominees had come here with their families and their chiefs, and they were all out there. So members of the majority side were having a difficulty. What do we do with these families? What do we do with these chiefs that we have made to travel? The president of the Bono Regional House of Chiefs with his whole, Regional House of Chiefs, they were here, 10, 15 chiefs. Greater Accra, he sat here the whole day, and then we finished approving, taking the report on those whose reports had been laid in the house. We finished around 8. We came here and there were 3 or 4 sets of nominees with their chiefs. And again, the minority vetting, she had worn it and come, and then I'm saying she should go home and change her dress and come back. And then we joked about it, but then she agreed and said, but she didn't know what to do about her chiefs. So I said, leave that to me. So I
questions, we'll come back to you, sir. Thank you for attending upon this committee.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
The next witness will be Honorable